Do you keep telling yourself, I'll rest when everything is done? Do you push through exhaustion, ignoring the headaches or the neck pain, or convince yourself you're just being lazy? What if your body isn't failing you, but trying to protect you? Today, I'll explain why so many of us keep pushing long after our bodies are asking us to stop, and what that really says about our nervous system. We have been taught that pushing through is a strength, a kind of superpower. Keep going. Don't complain. Just handle it. Get it handled. Finish what you started. Take care of what needs to be taken care of first, and then maybe you can rest. And for a while, that mindset can actually feel productive, can feel empowering. You become the dependable person. You are the strong one. You are the person that everybody knows that they can call when they need to get something done. You may even feel proud of how much you can carry. But eventually, something starts to change and shift. Your body begins asking for things that your mind doesn't want to give it, like rest, quiet, calm, space, sleep, a slower pace. And instead of listening, many of us respond by pushing even harder. We end up going over our limit. We drink another cup of coffee or another energy drink. We tell ourselves, we'll go to bed earlier tomorrow. We'll catch up with that tomorrow. We ignore the tension in our shoulders, in our neck. We dismiss the headaches that we're having on a regular basis. We keep saying, I'm fine. It's going to be okay. But what if pushing through isn't always strength? What if sometimes it's a survival pattern? Today, we're going to look at why you keep ignoring your body's signals and what your nervous system may really be trying to tell you, and one simple way to begin changing that pattern. Because you can't change a pattern you don't recognize. Awareness is key. And once you begin recognizing it, you may start seeing your relationship with rest, responsibility, and even your own body very differently. The first point I'd like to talk about is your body learned to push through. Your nervous system's job is to keep you safe. That is its number one priority. And one of the most important things to understand is that your nervous system learns from experience. If you've spent years living with chronic stress, caregiving responsibilities, trauma, financial pressure, family demands, work pressure, or simply feeling like everything depends on you, your body adapts to this way of being. It becomes very good at helping you function under pressure. The problem is that sometimes the body gets so good at surviving the pressure that it doesn't know when the pressure is over. Think about the person who has spent many years taking care of everyone else. Or maybe they were the responsible child whenever they were growing up. Maybe they learned early that their needs always had to wait. And maybe there was always somebody who needed more than them. Maybe slowing down wasn't encouraged. Maybe being productive brought a lot of praise, while being tired brought criticism and judgment. Or maybe nobody ever directly told them that they couldn't rest. They simply watched the adults around them push through. They saw people working while they were sick and not feeling well. They saw people ignoring pain and symptoms of their body. They heard things like, you can sleep when you're dead. There's no time for that now. Stop being lazy. Everybody's tired. I'm no different. Just get on with it. And those messages don't always stay as thoughts. Those thoughts become our beliefs. Over time, they become our patterns. They become our way of being. Keep going. Don't slow down. Ignore discomfort. Take care of everyone else first. And then if you have something left over for yourself. And eventually, pushing through can become so automatic that you don't even realize that you're doing it anymore. It's so a norm to you. You may wake up exhausted and immediately start thinking about everything that needs to get done that day. You might notice a headache coming on and think, I'll deal with that later. I don't have time for it. Your shoulders may be tight all day, but you barely even notice because tension has become your normal. And someone asks you how you're doing, and you automatically say, I'm good, I'm fine, even when you're clearly not. And you know this on some level. Pushing through isn't who you are. It's something that your nervous system has learned. And this distinction matters because when we believe something is simply our personality, we don't question it. We say, well, I'm just a hard worker. I am just someone who can't rest. I can't sit still. I'm just really bad at relaxing. I'm bad at slowing down. But learned patterns can be noticed. And when the awareness is there, whenever you can notice it, that is what can begin to change. So if your body learned this pattern, how does it let you know that it's no longer working for you? Second point, your body is sending you signals. Often the body starts communicating long before we finally pay attention. And those signals can look so different for every single person. Maybe it's constant fatigue. Maybe your sleep is off. You wake up so tired even though you sleep 8 hours. Maybe you're physically exhausted, but having trouble falling asleep because your mind won't stop the mind chatter. Maybe your shoulders feel permanently raised towards your ears. And you've gotten used to it. Your jaw is tight. Your neck is tight. You catch yourself clenching your teeth throughout the day. Maybe you're dealing with brain fog on a regular basis, and you walk into a room and you forget why you're even there. You reread the same sentence 3 times in order to really get the gist of it. You're struggling on a day-to-day basis to focus on things that normally wouldn't be difficult. Or maybe, you've noticed that small problems suddenly feel enormous to you. The email that you normally handle feels overwhelming. Someone asking you one more question feels way too much. Feels like you just can't deal with it anymore. The dishwasher needs unloading, and somehow that feels like your final straw, that you just are done. And then you judge yourself for it. Why am I getting so upset over something so small, so insignificant? But sometimes the reaction isn't only about what's happening in that moment. It may also be about everything your system has already been carrying up until that point. Imagine holding a glass of water, okay, for 1 minute. It's easy. For 10 minutes, maybe your arm starts to get more tired, a little bit tired. Now imagine holding it for 6 hours. The weight of the glass hasn't changed, but your capacity to keep holding it has. And stress can work in a very similar way in our lives. Something that would normally feel manageable can become much harder when you've already been carrying too much for too long. These are not random symptoms at all. They're your body's way of saying, I need your attention. Your body whispers before it shouts at you. And I want to add something really important here. Fatigue, headaches, sleep problems, brain fog, physical tension can have so many causes. If something feels severe, persistent, new, or concerning, it's always worth talking with a qualified healthcare professional. Listening to your body also means taking symptoms seriously enough to get the appropriate support of what you need when you need it. If this is describing your experience, I explore the mind-body connection and the path towards healing much more deeply in my book. If you'd like to understand why your body responds this way and how to begin changing it, you'll find the book linked below. Point number 3, why do we ignore the signs? So why do we keep ignoring ourselves? We wouldn't do that for our loved ones. Because for many people, listening to the body isn't simply about noticing a sensation. It can challenge our beliefs that we've carried for years. Beliefs like rest is lazy. You're just being lazy. I have to earn my worth. I have to keep busy. People depend on me. I'll rest later. It's not important. Maybe you've never actually said those words out loud, but look at your behavior. Notice it. Do you allow yourself rest only after you've accomplished enough or what you consider to be enough? Do you feel guilty sitting down when somebody else is working? Do you immediately start thinking about what you should be doing whenever you have free time or what you can be doing? Do you struggle to enjoy a day off because part of your mind is creating a list constantly? That tells you something. That really reveals something to you. We often think rest is a scheduling problem. I just need more time. I don't have enough hours in the day. But sometimes it's actually a permission problem. It's about giving yourself permission to have the free time because you can finally get the free afternoon and you've been asking for a long time and still spend the entire afternoon feeling guilty. Your schedule may have slowed down and your internal pressure is still the same. It's still up there. And this is why simply telling someone, just relax, usually is not very helpful. Their body may not experience slowing down as comfortable. In fact, it can be quite uncomfortable in the beginning. For some people, staying busy creates a sense of control, a sense of managing everything. If I'm doing something, I'm handling things. If I'm handling things, nothing can fall apart. If nothing falls apart, then I'm safe. And then your nervous system is happy about that. When that becomes automatic, stopping can feel strangely uncomfortable, can feel counterintuitive. You may even notice yourself creating little things to do in the gaps of time. You finally sit down and suddenly you remember, the laundry. I have to do the laundry. Then you notice the countertop. I need to clean off the countertop. Then you decide that you should answer that email that has been sitting in your inbox for a couple of days. Then you check your phone. Then you go back to feeling guilty. And 20 minutes later, you're back in motion. Before you know it, you're not resting. And sometimes we do call that productivity, okay? Sometimes it's avoidance. It can be either or, because slowing down can make us aware of our feelings, the exhaustion, the tension, anger, sadness, or the needs that we're easier to ignore while you keep yourself busy. And the nervous system tends to prefer familiar patterns, even when those patterns are no longer helping us. Your circumstances may change completely. You may no longer be living in the same stressful environment. The crisis may be long over. The children may be older, out of the house, able to take care of themselves. The demanding job may be gone. Maybe you've changed positions, changed employers. The difficult relationship may have ended or shifted. But your body can still be operating according to the rules that it learned years ago. Keep moving. Don't sit down. Stay alert. Be aware. Take care of everything else. Do everything. Don't need too much. Don't ask for too much. Don't stop. And that's why healing often involves more than changing your calendar. It involves questioning the beliefs underneath that calendar. So I want you to think about this. What messages about rest did you grow up believing? Were you taught that rest had to be earned? Was were hardworking people respected while people who slow down, were they criticized? Was exhaustion normal in your home? Was that mirrored to you? Was that the example? Did you learn that other people's needs came before your own? Were you praised for being independent, easy, responsible, or low maintenance? There isn't a right answer here. There's no judgment. The purpose of the question isn't to blame anyone. It's to become curious about where your patterns and beliefs come from. Because when you understand the origin of pattern, you can stop treating it like a personal flaw and start deciding whether you still want to live by it, if it still fits you. Point number 4, healing starts with listening. Healing isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more aware. And that awareness can begin in surprisingly small moments. It's just a matter of practicing. You don't necessarily need to completely change your life tomorrow or overnight does not have to happen. You don't have to cancel every responsibility that is on your to-do list or your calendar. And you don't have to become someone who spends 3 hours meditating every morning. It's not about changing. It's big things. It's about starting smaller. Today, I want you to pause for 1 minute. Just one. You can do this sitting in your car before going into the house, or before walking into your work, at your desk, before bedtime, while your coffee is brewing. Just 1 minute. Put your phone down if you can for this whole minute and ask yourself 3 questions. What is my body feeling? And really tune into it. Where am I holding tension? What do I need right now? And try not to immediately judge the answers that are coming up for you. Notice them. Maybe you notice that your jaw is tight, that your shoulders are tight. Maybe your shoulders and neck are both just cramped. Maybe you're hungry. Maybe you're thirsty. Maybe you need to stand up, go for a walk, stretch. Maybe you need 5 minutes without anyone talking to you. You just need complete silence. Maybe you're feeling tired. Maybe you're frustrated, irritated, angry. Maybe you realize that you've been holding your breath while reading all your emails. You don't always have to immediately fix what you notice. Most important part is noticing. The first step is simply that noticing, because many of us have become experts at noticing everybody else. We notice someone's tone. We notice someone's mood. We feel it a mile away, what they need. We anticipate whether they're disappointed, angry, whether they're upset with us, whether there's something that needs to be handled. We get really good at noticing it, but we can go an entire day without asking ourselves one simple question. How am I actually doing? And being honest with ourselves. So that 1 minute begins rebuilding a relationship with yourself. And over time, you can start responding much earlier. Instead of waiting until you're completely depleted before resting, maybe you take 5 minutes when you first notice fatigue. Instead of waiting until your shoulders are aching, you notice when they begin to tighten, as opposed to later. Instead of waiting until you're completely overwhelmed, you recognize the first signs that your capacity is getting low. It's time for a break. That's a very important shift, because the goal isn't to become perfectly calm all the time. That's not realistic. That's not being human. Life will still be stressful sometimes. We will always have stress factors. There will always be deadlines that we have to meet. Family responsibilities, financial pressure, unexpected problems, hard conversations, long days. They will always be there. The goal is becoming more aware of what's happening inside of you while you're living your life. You begin noticing the difference between I can keep going and I'm forcing myself to keep going. There's a big difference there. These are not always the same thing. You begin recognizing when discipline is helping you and when you're overriding yourself and not listening to yourself. You begin realizing that resting before you're completely exhausted isn't a weakness. It's responsiveness. And the small amounts of awareness can help create a more regulated nervous system over time. You are teaching your body something new. I can notice what I feel. I can respond before things become overwhelming, exhausting. I don't have to wait until my body is screaming at me before I listen. And that process takes practice, takes time, especially if pushing through has been your normal for many, many years. So don't turn healing into another performance. It's not another thing that is on your to-do list. Don't make listening to your body another thing that you have to be perfect at. You will forget sometimes, and that is completely okay. You'll have days when you push too hard. You'll notice it, the tension after the fact, and you'll realize you needed rest 3 hours ago. It's okay. We're human. Notice it when you notice it, when it's possible. Then begin again. Because every time that you respond differently, even in a small way, you're giving your nervous system a new experience, a new way of being. And you're showing yourself that productivity doesn't always have to come before well-being. You're showing yourself that your needs can matter before there's an emergency or a crisis. And you're learning that listening to your body doesn't make you less capable, does not make you weak. It can actually help you understand your capacity more clearly. For so many years, you may have believed that your body was working against you. But the truth is, it's been working for you all along. The goal isn't to push harder. The goal is to begin listening. I'd love for you to like this video and subscribe. Every week, I share practical, compassionate guidance to help you regulate your nervous system, reconnect with yourself, and create a healthier, more balanced life.